Today, we're going to talk about how to bust through the ripple effect of fear. Fear is what riddles women that live with MS. I've talked to many women. I live with MS. It's like this uninvited guest that shows up in our life, right? The uncertainty, the fear, and it can be scary, right? Especially when MS is unpredictable and we don't know what to expect. And I think as women, we have so many pressures in our life that it just adds another layer to the layer of MS that's already there. And we have to ask ourselves, well, what do we have control over? This is the big question I often ask. I ask myself this question a lot too. Um, and that's what I want to talk about today. I want to give you some tools in order to explore how you can bust through fear. And I just want to talk about for a moment what the ripple effect means. And then I'll go into an example in my own life, and then I'll break it down for you. Okay. But before we do, I'm Jenda Tracy, and this is the Women Thriving with MS channel. And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. And if you are looking for a place to connect and discover how to live your life better with MS, the weTHRIVE membership enrollment for women living with MS is happening until tomorrow, Thursday, April 29th at 10 p.m. Check out the link below. This is going to be a game changer for you. And I'll talk a little bit more about it at the end of the video. Okay, so talking about fear and busting through the ripple effect. Okay, when I talk about a ripple effect, what that means is when we experience uncertainty or fear in our lives, which are normal feelings, by the way, they are magnified when you live with multiple sclerosis and the unpredictability, no doubt about it. When we live with that, that fear and uncertainty has a ripple effect in all of our areas in our life. So that could be how we feel physically, how we feel mentally, what the choices are that we make in our life. I know that there are times where when I was in that greatest place of fear, the decisions that I was making in my life were rarely good. Rarely good. I look back at that now and I'm like, oh my God, how could I have done that? you know, Ending a relationship suddenly or all these kind of crazy things. So it does have a ripple effect. It has a ripple effect on how we sleep, what we choose to eat, whether we exercise, whether we're resting, the impact, if you have a significant other, on that other person, right? It's going to have a ripple effect on that. Also, around just general mental health. And I'm looking at my list here a little bit. Spirituality, your connection with yourself or a higher power or God or whatever that might be for you. So as a ripple effect on all those areas. So how do we deal with that? Well, first of all, I know in my own life, when I have felt fear, I recognize that there's probably like one key area in my life that I can deal with that, right? There's two areas in my life that I find kind of anchor me down in a place of groundedness. One is exercise, and the other is meditation. So I put that in the spirituality bucket. So, depending on how I'm feeling and what I'm experiencing is going to depend on what I'm going to choose. But the first thing to do when you notice yourself feeling that sense of fear or uncertainty, believe it or not, even though this sounds counterintuitive, is to breathe into it, right? Slow things down. So, what I like to do is I like to just welcome it in. I like to breathe into it. I like to say, welcome fear, welcome it. I was told once that that in most cases, if we move towards something, like if I move towards the camera, I get bigger, right? But the one thing that actually gets smaller when you move towards it is fear. You believe that? It's kind of cool, right? So the closer you get to it, meaning that if I can allow it to be there as opposed to pushing it away from me, and I can allow the fear to be there and not push it away, what happens is it actually, in most cases, gets smaller. The next step in that process is to identify where in the body that I feel that fear. Where is it showing up? For me, a lot of times it's in the chest or in the throat. So if in the moment right now you're noticing that you feel fear, just take a minute, breathe a few times and ask yourself that question, where is that hanging out my body? For some people, they'll say it's in their eyes or their head or in their belly. It's different for everyone. So ask yourself, where is that fear hanging out? And just allow it to be there. Like invite it in, like you're inviting it in for a cup of tea or coffee, as a good friend. I know that sounds counterintuitive, but really it can be very impactful. So identify what the feeling is, identify where it is in the body, or welcome it in, welcome that fear in, and then ask yourself, what's the one thing, just one thing that you could do that would help support you in that moment? It might be just simply holding yourself. It might be, oh, someone's at the door. It might be that you need to lay down and just have a rest. It might be that you need to listen to some music to get yourself out of that place. It might be that you need to read a book, whatever that is, to get yourself out of that place of fear in that moment, right? I find for myself what can be very, very helpful once I've acknowledged where the feeling is and I welcome it in is to get up and get my body moving. That has been very helpful for me because when you do something to shift, it's not about pushing it away, because pushing it away, I have found many times, just makes it bigger. We don't want to make the fear bigger. We want to shrink it down. But it might not happen. It is not something you can just do once and maybe it's going to work for you. So, but once you're in that place where you feel like you're slowing things down, right? Slowing things down a little bit, your nervous system is calming down because you're breathing, you're acknowledging the fear, you're recognizing where it's at. Then notice in your body what happens. Does the fear move to another place in your body? Does it soften? Um, Notice the quality of the fear. Is it like hard and dense? Is it vibrating? Like notice that, and then notice, is there a shift? Is there a shift in that fear? Or a shift in where it's going in the body? Because any shift you have indicates that there's a movement happening, and that is a good thing. Now, it could move to another place in your body. Let's say it moves from your chest to your stomach. Again, welcome it in. And then just ask the question, ask the question, what is the feeling now? Because maybe it's not fear anymore. Maybe it is just anxiety or, a little bit of overwhelm underneath that fear. So when you can tap into that, it's very powerful. And then once you've done that, and you notice that there's a little bit, even if it's just a tiny itty bit of calmness or just some other feeling that feels uh, better for you in some way, shape, or form, then ask yourself, what's one action I could take now, just a little tiny action that's going to um, bring me to a place where I'm not thinking about the fear. It could be breathing, it could be counting to 60, it could be reading a book, again, it could be listening to music. Just when we can get ourselves away from that state that we're in that is paralyzing and shift it to a different place where we're doing something that's more enjoyable. That's where I find, for me, after doing this process, like getting some exercise can be very good. However, that may not be what it is for you, right? It might be having a cup of tea. It might be watching a funny YouTube video. When we can shift that place after we've nurtured ourselves, given ourselves a little bit of loving, it can make a big difference. And that has a positive ripple effect, a positive ripple effect on your whole body and on your whole state of mind. It can have a positive impact on how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and how you are operating, right? Big difference. So just to recap on that. So when we have a feeling of fear, it can either have initially we may feel that it's has a negative impact on every aspect of your life, right? You might feel that way. And it's true. It's this ripple effect can be like the ocean going in and out. It can spread, right? Like the waves coming in and going out. So it you don't want to run away from that. You want to just embrace the feeling, right? Embrace that feeling. Welcome it in. Notice where it's showing up in your body. Number 2. Notice the qualities of it. Is it hard? Is it soft? Is it vibrating? Allow it to be there. Just breathe into it. And then, after doing that for a minute or two, notice, does it move someplace else in the body? Does it change form? Because if any change is happening, most likely it's going to be a positive shift. And then after that, ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do to nurture myself? Is it going to be a cup of tea? Is it going to be laying down and having a rest? Is it going to be watching something funny, listening to music, getting exercise, picking up the phone and calling someone? Whatever that's going to be to help you shift. And what that will do is it will have a positive ripple effect on your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your whole like digestive system, your nervous system, in terms of moving away from fight or flight to a state of feeling some level of calm. So I hope that's helpful for you today. This is the kind of work that I do as part of the Women Thriving with MS community. We have a private Facebook group that you're certainly welcome to join. I just started the weTHRIVE membership, and it will kick off on May the 4th, which is Tuesday. And if you would like to be a part of that community, click the link below and see the information. It's going to be what we call a founding members launch. So it'll be a small, intimate group of women that will be meeting virtually every 3 weeks. And then I have a process that I'm going to take you through to help you focus on areas of your life where you're feeling dissatisfied, where you want to have, maybe you're feeling stuck in a certain area. Maybe it's around exercise, maybe it's around diet, maybe it's around not getting enough rest or finding enough restoration. Maybe it's around mental health, or you're having challenges in your relationship with your significant other because of how you're feeling about yourself. Maybe you're not feeling connected to yourself or to God or the universe, whatever that might be for you. So you're gonna be on a journey with me in that process and with other women living with MS. So if you want to live life better with MS, check out the link below. We'd love to have you. You have till tomorrow at 10 p.m. Thursday, April 29th to sign up. And feel free to ask questions here in this video if there's something that you want to know. If you have a burning question, I'd be happy to answer that for you. All right, have a great day. And if you haven't subscribed, do that below. Click that button and check out the link to the weTHRIVE, Women Thriving with MS membership. Okay, have a great day.